Hello and welcome to Tea with Fee. My name's Fee and this is Make It So HQ, and thank you for joining me for Tea with Fee, Friday at 5 o'clock on my new YouTube channel. So today I want to follow on from last week and I'm going to continue to talk to you about my cross stitch project that I'm working on at the minute. So a little update on how it's going. I don't think I had it with me last week either. So it's coming along really nicely and the frame is working out really well for me. So when I was chatting to you last week, I was talking about this is a sew-on frame and I bought a clip-on frame which is to compare and contrast. So I'm really enjoying how this one is working out. Progress is steady. But what I wanted to share with you today were a couple of extra things that I thought were quite good to have in your craft box. So one of them is this here. So that is literally 2 magnets. And that means that I can secure my needle on there temporarily when I'm in between threading it or whatever. So it literally just sticks on. Now you can buy really fancy ones. All the shops sell the really fancy ones as well. However, unlike me, I actually just used 2 magnets that I had in the house to use as my needle minder rather than buying a new one. So I'm quite proud of myself for that. Because for those of you that know me, I'm quite into like the latest thing and buying whatever it is currently like the thing. So I'm really pleased with myself that I didn't do that this time. So yeah, so this is coming along quite nicely. Another aha moment that I had this week, which I really had to share with you, was sewing this bit here was really tricky. There were lots of little half squares, and not being particularly familiar with cross stitch and half squares, it was all a bit of a challenge and I was really struggling to see what I was doing. So here is my really scruffy pattern because it's been on the go for forever. And the bit that I was working on was this bit here. And it was really difficult to see which one I was on. So I got recommended to use a magnifying glass. This one's got a little light on it. I have no idea where I got this from. And unfortunately, it's just been in the bag, so it's really scratched, so that probably wasn't a really good idea. Anyway, it's this little bit here that I needed, and that bit's not scratched, so that was helping. However, it really wasn't cutting the mustard. So then I had a brainwave, which shouldn't really have been a brainwave. It should have been the first thing I thought to do, which I didn't think to do, but that was I took a picture on my phone and just zoomed in. Hello? Why did I not think of that before? I even went so far as to print it off. So this here, the yellow bits are the bits that I've done compared to this here. I don't even know how many times bigger that's been expanded, but this was a total game changer. So if you're not already doing this, I really recommend that you just take a picture on your phone, zoom in and print it off, and it will just make your life so much easier. So that was like this week's big aha moment. So I'm really pleased with how that helped the process, and I actually felt like the whole thing worked a lot quicker once I had the bigger chart, and I had made mistakes on it when I was still using the little one, so I ended up having to unpick the whole thing, like that whole blue bit, and started again with the bigger pattern. And once I did that, I didn't have any mistakes, so I really recommend that. So that was really good this week. The other thing that I got this week, after having discussed cross stitch last week, which wasn't really my intention, and as I said last week, I don't do cross stitch as a rule. It's not my go-to craft, so I don't have like all the supplies. Anyway, I ordered this last week, and it hadn't arrived when we were chatting on Tea with Faye. And it's a wool winder, not a wool winder, a bobbin winder. So what you do is you take out this little pin, and then the hole in the card, in the bobbin, goes between these two bits of plastic, so you can, and then you put the dowel back in, and that secures it in place like so. And then you turn the handle, and then it turns the card to wind up your thread. And then you can take it one step further, because it's got this bit on the bottom. You clamp it to your little box like so, and then you just wind it up. So I was quite impressed with that. Now what I did notice, and what I'll do is I'll just take you over to the other camera, and then I'll just talk you through the game changery bit of this that made it work a lot better. So let's do that now. Fabulous. So as I was saying, this attaches on to these little embroidery storage boxes, thread storage boxes. You get these in different sizes. I like this because it's perfect, as I said last week, for the particular project that you're working on. I do have larger ones, so they come in this size as well. And this is kind of for storing. This is for storing the ones you're not using, and then you take the ones that you need for your project and transfer it into the current working project box, which is what this is. So you get this winder, and I attached it onto here, but it actually is really quite loose on there, and then you just wind it by turning this. But as you do that, this all wobbles. But what I noticed was, if you move it into the center, you can't put it on this one because there's only a gap here, and on the two sides it's not a gap all the way around. There's only 3 gaps, so you can only put it on the two outside bits, any of these outside bits, or these 2 center ones, and for some reason those ones seem to be a bit thicker. So when I put it on this one, it's not going anywhere, and then you can still spin it. So that made the whole process work a lot better. So I really like this, and I would recommend it. I do think that it would work better with the plastic bobbin holders rather than the cardboard ones. I think the cardboard ones are a bit too bendy. So that would be my only thing that I would suggest as an alternative. I would go with the plastic ones. But these, to get you started, these are brilliant, and they come with 50, I think, of these little cardboard bobbins in it for you to wind on your own threads onto to get your project started. So I actually think that that's really good. And they're only like £6 something, £6 or £7 for this size. And you can buy them on Amazon, or you'll be able to buy them in any of your local shops, or potentially any of the online kind of fabric-y shops, haberdashery shops. But I will put a link to the ones that I recommend in the description, and that will be an Amazon link, and I possibly will get some sort of very small commission if you use the link in the description. So yeah, so that was my new purchase that I thought I would share with you, and I genuinely do think that it works very well. And the added bonus is that it still fits in here with my scissors and a chocolate just in case, and my pencil. And then all I did was I moved my little pin cushion that was attached to my scissors into this spare one. It does fit in there with everything else, but it just made it was a little bit too time consuming to move everything around to get it to fit, and you just want to get things put in and gone. So yeah, so that's my recommendation for this week, or one of them anyway. So I'm really pleased with that. So the next thing that I'm going to do, not right now, but my next plan is I've got an empty one of these. So I'm going to actually get my next project prepped and put into the new one. And I'll just have a little chat to you about that now, but I think we'll move back to the other camera. So let's have a little chat about the next project in a minute. Fantastic. So I've got everything put back in the bag so that I don't lose it, with my planner, which has been updated with my completed crochet basket that I made. I still haven't got a picture of it, so I need to do that. So everything's ready to go, and I'm aiming to have the cross stitch, which I haven't said to anybody yet. I'm saying it now to the world, so I'm accountable. I'm aiming to have this cross stitch finished by the end of February. Certainly the crosses, maybe not the back stitching, finishing off bit, because I've never done that before, so I've no idea how long that's going to take. But I'm aiming to have this finished by the end of February. So you heard that here. I better write that down so that I remember. So that's my current project. Now, my next project, I'm trying to just do one project at a time. So I'm hoping to finish that before I start my next project. And by the time I start my next project, it's probably not going to want it to be a cross stitch. I think I'll want a change. And I've got the Attic 24 fireside blanket to do, which I'm quite keen to do because a few of the people at Crafternoon Tea are doing it or have done it. So I'm feeling a little bit like I'm missing out and I want to do that. But I've also got the Borg blanket, which was, I can't think who the designer was, but I'll put a link in the description of her blankets. It might be Insomnia Crochet. Anyway, I've got all the wool for that, and I've had the wool for that for ages, so I really want to get that started as well. So I'm a bit torn, but anyway, what I want to do is I want to at least get the next cross stitch, which is planned, prepped and ready and put on this frame. So this is the frame that I bought, which is the clip-on frame rather than the sew-on frame, and I'm a bit unsure whether that was a good idea or not. And the other thing that I bought as well, which was separate, was this, which is to tighten the screws on it once it's put together, so that it's nice and the fabric's stretched as far as it'll go. So you have to buy that separately, but that's actually pretty useful and it'll work on either of them. So this is how the frame arrives, and you get it, and you can buy them in various different sizes. So this one is 15 inches by 12 inches, the frame. And the thing that's different about these is it's got these, and these are what keep the fabric in place. So it'll be interesting to see how that works in practice, because I'm not quite sure. So once I've figured that out, I'll let you know what I think. The other one was a little bit time consuming to sew it on, but once it was on, and you knew it wasn't going to go anywhere. So I'm not really very sure what I think of this one. But anyway, that's to be decided. The actual cross stitch that I'm going to do next is out of the cross stitch for the Heart book, which is by Emma Condon. And there's 3 books in this particular series. Cross stitch for the heart, cross stitch for the soul, and cross stitch for growth, I think. One's about gardening. I didn't buy that one. So this is the one that my next project is going to come out of. Let's see. There's some really nice ones in here, but the one that I'm going for is page 11. I just wanted something really bright and cheery, because the one I'm doing at the minute is a little bit pastel-y for my taste. However, it was a gift, so that's why I'm making it, because somebody that gave me it as a gift. So I'm going to put it up on my wall. I can't find it. Hold on. Nope. Anyway, I have printed it out. I'm all ready. Oh, here we go. So this is the next one. Be the reason somebody smiles today. And it looks really big, but it's, compared to the one that I'm doing at the minute, it's probably less than half the size. So it's going to feel really doable. So what I have done, but I think in hindsight I would have done with the previous one, is I've actually copied it in colour so that I can draw on it. So this is the pattern, printed out in colour so that it makes it really obvious which one I'm going to be doing next. And I can just mark them off as I go, and hopefully that's going to make it a lot easier for me. So I've got my pattern ready to go. I've got my fabric, but I've actually gone white or cream, but I think I'm going to go for the white. So I just need to get that put on the frame, find the centre, and then the plan is to get these all wound up onto the little bobbins and then put in one of these, and then I'm literally ready to go then. As soon as I get to the inclination to get going with it, I can just pick it up and get started. So that's the next thing on the to-do list. What's on your to-do list this week? I would love to know. What's everybody working on? What progress have you made from last week? As I said, I've made a little bit of progress on my cross stitch, but I've not really spent as much time on it as I have in previous weeks, and I'll tell you why. I have a confession to make. I've got a little bit sucked into the bullet journal rabbit hole. Those of you that know me know that I like a bit of stationery, and I like a planner, and I like a to-do list. And I did a little bit of, I've been bullet journaling, or my version of bullet journaling, for quite a while now. Anyway, I ended up buying the book. So I'm kind of like into this at the minute and trying to, like, partly it's going to change my life. So I'll let you know how that goes. So yeah, but I'm actually really enjoying it. And if you like the idea of bullet journaling, or would like to give it a go, if you feel like you've got like 10 million things going around in your head and there's no system, then I would recommend this. I'm really enjoying this book. So it's right up my street. It'll be interesting to see if the way that I do my journals changes once I've read it. And it's got quite a lot of practical stuff to do in it as well, which is really good. So it's like hands-on practice stuff to get it to work for what you want it to do for you. So that's really exciting as well. So it's been, all in all, it's been a pretty busy week. I'm trying to think what else has been happening. Work's been busy. Make It Sew is, sewing lessons are going well. We've got Laura and Kaz on Tuesday nights, and we have Joyce on a Wednesday, and then a combination of Thursday and Friday are Christine, Alwyn, Charlotte and Nikki, and then Thursday nights Wendy and Lynn, and everybody is working on their own thing. Nobody's doing the original Sew Like a Pro work group anymore. Everybody's kind of doing their own thing. But interestingly, two people in two different groups are actually both making the same thing, which is quite interesting considering they're not even in the same group. So it's been quite good to see everybody's progression and what everybody's been working on. So there's been a big mix. We've got clothes getting made, doorstops, bags, cushions, all sorts of things going on. So very varied, which makes it very interesting. If anybody fancies some sewing lessons and you live in the Isle of Man, then give me a shout and I'll see if I can fit you into the various different slots that we've got going on. Crafting and Tea meets on a Thursday down at Union Mills Methodist Church, so if you've not already been, please come along and say hi. And it's literally just bring some sort of craft with you and have a cup of tea and say hi to everybody. And the crafts range from knitting, crochet, cross stitch, embroidery, drawing. We've had card making. Just somebody's come and not done anything and just made the tea before. So yep, feel free to come along and just see what we're all about. We are on Thursday next week, which will be the 16th, and then the Saturday after that we're on as well. So next week we've actually got 2 lots of Crafting and Teas, which is Thursday afternoon and Saturday morning. So it'll be lovely to see you there, and you'll be made to feel very welcome. So yeah, there's lots going on. We're also, as part of Crafting and Tea, making blankets. I'm planning to get a bit more like focused on making blankets over the next couple of months, now that everybody stopped making Christmas presents and things and they've got a little bit of their own time back. We're looking at making some blankets again to donate to charities or people that you think might need them. So please feel free to let us know if there's any charities on the island that you think might benefit from some hand knitted or crocheted blankets that we may not have already considered, because we're always on the lookout for new recipients and beneficiaries for the blankets that we make. So that would be marvellous. But that's it for now. I will look forward to seeing you next week. By the time next week comes along, my aim, which I am sharing with the world, is to have the Blue Lady finished on the cross stitch. So that's what I'm going to have finished. I'm going to have the Blue Lady finished, and as a stretch target, literally all of that section that the Blue Lady's in, which would only leave me a little bit of the flowery bit left to do. So that would be amazing if I could get that done by next Friday. That would be absolutely fantastic. So feel free, put in the comments what your accountability goal is for yourself, to come back and double check next Friday if you have actually achieved it or not. So get it out there, so that you're accountable to me about what it is that you're going to do by the time we get together again next week. But thanks very much for watching. It's been lovely speaking to you all, and I look forward to speaking to you all again next week. Thanks for watching. Bye. I thought I would very quickly show you how to use this. So the first thing you need to do is write the number on the card, because it's harder to do it once it's full. Some people just put the little number end on the tab itself, so you could do that as an option as well. I'm just going to write it on and then pop out the little circle, put it in the winder between these 2 bits of plastic, and then you put the peg in and that keeps it in place. And as you can see, I've got this attached to the middle. Now this is where it's important to take it from the right end. So if you hold it at the number end and pull the end, it should wind without getting twisted or caught. And then all you're going to do is just attach that end into the slot, hold this, and then just turn it, and literally it will do the whole thing. And it's really quite easy, and I'm not doing anything with the thread. I'm just holding it, got my thumb on the where the numbers are, and it's just feeding it quite easily. And the banging noise is the lid hitting it, banging off the table, in case you wonder what the noise is. And it's that simple. And you just keep going till you've run out. So yeah, definitely worth buying. And it's going to make the process of winding these go a lot faster. And you just kind of try. The more you do it, you get the hang of it a little bit more. And you can try and get it so that it moves from one end to the other. so it's even, if that's going to annoy you. So that it's not like got a big fat centre. And as you can see, if you pull it too tight, the plastic will bend. So it might be worth investing in the plasticky ones if you think it's something that you're going to do regularly. The plastic ones might be something to consider. But the fact that the box comes with 50 cardboard ones, I think is really good. So yeah, we're nearly at the end. I hope I'm still in camera shot because I can't see the camera. And then this is me just getting to the end. So because there's not much left, it slid out of the number and the DMC little tags. So I've now just got a loose thread, but it's not tangled or anything. And sometimes that can be really annoying when you're trying to wind it and it gets all tangled. So that's that one done. And then literally I'm back at the beginning, and then you just hook them round there like that. And then just pop that out, and that's it. Done. And then just stick it in here with the rest of them. Job done.